Now that the Hamill film has come out, if you haven't seen Hamilton about 5 times yet, then you are sadly behind. But I want to call your attention to the song, and it goes like this. I'm not going to sing it, but it says, "There are moments that the words don't reach. There is a grace too powerful to name. We push away what we can never understand. We push away the unimaginable. They are standing in the garden, Alexander by Eliza's side. She takes his hand." That scene shook me, just because you see the relief on his face. I mean, they've gone through a separation because of what he did with the Reynolds wife. His wife Eliza probably blames him for the death of their son because he died in a duel, and Alexander helped him prepare for that. And so they're just broken. These two people are absolutely broken, and they have been broken in their marriage. And yet suddenly Eliza decides on forgiveness, and she takes his hand, and it's this beautiful moment, and you see it on his face. You see the relief, you see the pain, you see the anguish, but you see the gratitude of it, of this forgiveness being extended. And it reminds me so much of God's forgiveness. That's really been on my mind a lot this week. I think one verse that came to mind is Ephesians 4:31-32. It says, "Get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." And wow. It's so easy to be angry or to feel guilt or to be bitter or to feel malice. It's so much harder to extend forgiveness. It's so much harder to extend grace. But look at what God has done for us. He gave us grace and forgiveness through His Son. He gives us grace every day. He loves us, and He extends us forgiveness on our worst days, at our worst times. He sees all. He knows how wretched our hearts truly are. And yet He extends His hand to us moment by moment. So what might the world look like if we truly and consistently believed in that? What would the world look like if we extended that same vision of forgiveness to others? Now, I'm not saying that we let things slide. I mean, you see, Eliza and Alex, they have a lot that they're going through, and there were consequences for that. They had separation in their marriage. They had to work through that. And I'm not saying that we don't give consequences for crimes or offenses, but we can change the heart with which we do these things. We don't have to be mean or bitter. We can strive for forgiveness. As God has forgiven us, we can look to forgive others. As God has extended grace to us, perhaps we can look closer at extending kindness and grace to others. Honestly, especially those that we don't agree with. In a world right now where everyone seems to be lashing out against others, whether it's because of COVID or face masks or racial inequality, all of these things are splitting us apart. And I'm not saying these things aren't important. I think that they're very important. But instead of coming to the table to lash out and wound each other and tear each other apart, what if we came to the table trying to believe the best of others and extending grace and forgiveness to those who may not agree with us? If that scene passed you by, I would just encourage you to go back and take a look at it and see the relief on Hamilton's face, and remember when you have felt that in your own life, and see if you can extend that to others that you know.